Hare Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We are reading Caitanya Caritamrita Adi Leela chapter 7. We are on text 127. We have been reading the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So we'll continue reading the purport. Instead of wasting one's time falsely deriving such indirect meanings from the Vedanta Sutra and other Vedic literatures, one should accept the words of these books as they are. So yesterday we were reading that some people misinterpret the Vedanta Sutra and make some other meaning out of it. We don't need to do that. Imagine if we go to school and the teacher, there is a book and we are supposed to study that textbook, but instead of studying it, we just make our own meaning out of it. We are going to fail the exam. The teacher will say, hey, what did you study? What are you writing? I never taught you this. This is your own imagination. So this is what we are doing if we are misinterpreting the Vedanta Sutra. We simply just have to accept how it's spoken. That's it. In presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is, therefore, we have not changed the meaning of the original words. Similarly, if one studies the Vedanta Sutra as it is, without whimsical and capricious adulteration, one can understand the Vedanta Sutra very easily. So Bhagavad Gita, we should hear it, accept it as it is. We shouldn't try to change the meaning. Imagine now we want to study law. And then we have these law books that we have to study. And we say, oh, why is this? It should be, this is better, This sounds better. Oh, maybe it should be like this. Maybe I think they are trying to say this. Oh, this doesn't make sense. It should be like this, Then if there are, say, 500 students in that grade, and each makes their own, there's going to be so much confusion. What is the real law? They just have to follow the book. That's it. Do not need to change anything. Srila Vyasadeva therefore explains the Vedanta Sutra beginning from the first sutra, Janmadi Asya Yataha. Janmadi Asya Yataha. That's the first aphorism of the Vedanta Sutra. And Srila Vyasadeva, even the Srimad Bhagavatam, he begins with this same aphorism. So Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 1, Canto 1, chapter 1, text 1, says, Janmadi Asya Yato Anvayat Itaras Charteshva Abhigya Swaran. I meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, the transcendent reality, who is the primeval cause of all causes, from whom all manifested universes arise, in whom they dwell, and by whom they are destroyed. I meditate upon that eternally effulgent Lord, who is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and yet is fully independent. So Srila Vyasadeva, first verse, as soon as you open the book, Srimad Bhagavatam, first is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and then this Janmadi Asya Yato. Immediately, the first verse itself, Srila Vyasadeva tells us who is God, who has created everything, on whom everything is resting. And what's the nature of God? We say he's fully independent. And he's saying God is Lord Shri Krishna. So immediately in the beginning, the cause of all causes. We do so much research work. Why this happened? Why that happened? Why this? How like this? If we do the research, we will come to Krishna. All the material world is created by Krishna. And when they are destroyed, everything rests in Krishna. And I meditate upon that eternally effulgent Lord. So Krishna, his form is effulgent. There is light coming from his body. And that light is called the Brahma Jyoti. Then he's directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and yet he's fully independent. So Krishna is supremely conscious. We are conscious only of ourselves. We are just conscious of ourselves. I can't be conscious of you and you can't be conscious of me. It's not possible for us, but it's possible for Krishna. He's supremely conscious. Why? Because we are all part and parcel of Krishna. That's why, because we are his energy. And yet he's completely independent. He can do whatever he likes. He just has to will it and it will happen. Nobody can force him. Nothing. He's completely independent. Completely independent. The Supreme Personality of Godhead knows very well how to do everything perfectly. So we think we are very good. See how good I did it. Then, okay, we may be good in something, but there will be someone better. And like that, we'll do research, who's better and who's better and who's better. We'll come to Krishna because he is the bestest in everything. We may be good in one thing. We may be good in 2 things, 3 things, 5 things. We can't be perfect in everything. Only Krishna can. He is abhigya, always fully conscious. The Lord therefore says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 26, that he knows everything past, present, and future, but that no one but a devotee knows him as he is. So if we at all want to understand Krishna, he says that I can be understood only by devotional service. Which is that verse? Chapter 14. He says, I can be known only by devotional service. And so only the devotees can understand Krishna, no one else. But the Mayavadi philosophers who unnecessarily speculate to understand the absolute truth simply waste their time. So if I just begin to imagine God should be like this, God must be like this, maybe there's not God, maybe I am God, maybe everyone is God. But that's not the truth. If I want to understand the truth, I need to engage in devotional service. That's what Krishna says. I can be known only by devotional service. He says that in chapter 14. Is that okay? So this is for us to understand that we need to accept the Shastras as they are. We should not misinterpret the Shastra. So, because same, even any material education, if we misinterpret our textbook, we are going to fail. We're not going to become expert. We are going to become like nuisance. And imagine 1,000 people in a university and all 1,000 of them have different ideas because all 1,000 of us, each of us thinks differently. What's going to happen? Utter chaos. And that's what's happening in this society right now. No one knows who's God, how to study about God. What we have to do, we simply have to open Bhagavad Gita as it is, without putting our own interpretation. Yeah. So we'll stop here for today if there are no comments or questions.
Okay.
Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.